was working in a high-stress environment dealing with people that break the law. My job was to organise where they would complete their community service hours. So as you can imagine, the people that were my customers were not keen on being there. And very often they brought with them a fair amount of resentment. They had to give up their time and they weren't getting paid for it. But that's just part of the criminal justice system. Thankfully, I no longer work there. Hallelujah. Whilst I was working there, I found a very interesting phenomena, and that was that sometimes the stressful situation occurred not because of the people with the criminal history, but actually because of my co-workers. What I mean by my co-workers is every now and then I had a co-worker that was, how should we put it, not so supportive. Part of what I had to do was I had to stand up in front of 40 or so people and tell them where they were going to go to do their community service hours. And when you're standing up in front of a group of people that don't want to be there, you have to keep your message short, sweet, and try not to piss them off. Because if I annoyed a group of people, and some of the people in the audience may have had short fuses, some of them may have even been under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. You never know if you will be lighting the fuse on a TNT keg. So when I gave my the overview of what the people would be doing for the day, where each group would go, every now and then one of my lovely co-workers, sarcasm, would actually undermine me and kind of make fun of the choices that I was making, and almost like encourage the crowd to heckle me. So this one co-worker, there was a woman. She was not particularly helpful. So one day I was doing my job and she kind of heckled me whilst I was talking to the group. And she pointed out the work that the team was going to do was not interesting. And that's true, it's factual. However, there wasn't much else that could be done. This particular person had not suggested anything different, but just wanted to try and raise my awareness of the fact that she didn't like taking people there and the people didn't like going there. I totally get that. Valid point. However, it wasn't really the time or place to do it when I had an audience of about 40 people that, didn't want to be there. So I pointed this out in the staff meeting and I said, we need to work together as a team rather than take pot shots at each other when somebody's vulnerable. This morning, what you did, let's call her Donna, not her real name. So I said, Donna, what you did this morning, that was not cool. You had the community workers laughing at me whilst I was trying to tell them what needed to be done. It was operational. It was purely work. It was not about me. It was just about the facts. So by doing that, you were disruptive. It was unprofessional, and I don't want you to do that again. And her response was, quite simply, you need to grow some balls. I was quite taken aback at that time. And honestly, in my mind's eye, I decided I can't stand this woman. So I was no longer in my professional state of mind. I was just in trigger. I felt this woman has just insulted me, has insulted the very core of my masculinity in a staff meeting in front of my other co-workers. What can I do to come back from this? I had choices, but at the time my emotions were overriding my sensibilities. I shut my mouth. I buried it. And later on, when I revisited the situation in my mind, I thought of all sorts of nasty things that I could have said or have done to that person. But thankfully I didn't act on them because I don't want to cause discord. I definitely do not want a criminal record. So that was one example of when I was quite triggered. So what did I do with it? Now, I'm a member of a men's group. The men's group meets every Tuesday, and the reason I like going to it is because it gives me a chance to air any of the any of the negative emotions that I have either about myself or about other people. And not just do I have a chance to get it out of my system, but I have the opportunity to go through an emotional process to deal with that negative emotion. Now, the group of men that I meet, we're from all walks of life. It's not a professional counselling system. It's a group of men that understand that being a man is not always easy. And there are a lot of expectations on what a man should be. And what I brought to the group was a perfect example. That woman that told me, grow a pair of balls. I do believe now, looking back at that, what she meant, if she had used words and expressions that I would have used, was, I don't think you're behaving in a way that is very manly. Or, right now, you're not measuring up to what I consider to be a real man. Fair enough. However, not my problem. I am me, and her expectations are hers. And if I don't measure up to her expectations, that's up to her to deal with it. However, the issue was I felt residual anger towards her. I honestly felt like if she had fallen down a flight of stairs and she was in pain with a twisted ankle, I might have just walked past and said, that looks sore, and kept on walking. I have not done that, but that's what I thought. So I was thinking nasty things, and I don't want to carry that. It's not necessary. It doesn't help me at all, and I don't want to hold grudges. There's no point. So I went to my men's group, and we did an emotional process. That is where one experienced man assists me or whomever is doing the process to get back into the moment of trigger. What was I feeling? I was feeling anger. And I was feeling belittled. And I was feeling emasculated. And I was feeling the thought of, how dare you, woman? I've never attacked you, and yet you attacked me for no reason. No reason that I could fathom. So I went into that negative space. And then the experienced man that was assisting me with my emotional process asked me to think of all the times in my life when I'd experienced similar things. I did that. And then he asked me, so in your life, have you ever done these things? Have you ever judged other people? Have you ever spoken your mind in a sharp way? The answer is yes. So basically, what the process is all about is to get me to go into that emotion, to feel the anger and the judgment. And then from that place, shift my frame of reference to a much more positive place. And that is the place of compassion. And it helped me understand, I don't know that woman. I don't know what it's like to live with diabetes. I know this is a fact about her. I don't know what it's like to have a lot of extra body weight. I'm blessed in the fact that I'm quite slim. I don't know what's going on in her relationship status. I don't know these things. In saying this, it helped me move to a place of compassion that I don't know what was going on for her. It could have been a multitude of things. Her life may have been falling apart at that very moment, and her anger just happened to come out and head towards me. The comment, you need to grow some balls, it may have been innocuous. It may have been the kind of thing that she's grown up and she's heard that every day. Maybe her mother used to say that to her father, and she used to say it to her brothers. Maybe it was a comment like I might say and said, oh, shut up, meaning I don't really care what you're saying. So what I read into it, it's my stuff, not hers. So basically, at the end of the process, I came to a place of compassion for this woman. And the fact that I don't know what's going on for her. It does not excuse the fact that she verbally attacked me and undermined me in front of my co-workers and in front of the community workers, which was potentially dangerous. But the point is, I can get past my initial anger towards her, and then so the next time I see her, I'm not carrying this charge. I'm not automatically going to assume as soon as she opens her mouth, she's going to say something negative. She's going to be against me in some way, that she has some kind of agenda. So in doing so, it helps me be more at ease with other people, especially if I find them to be abrasive or difficult. Because that's up to me, because how I feel is my business, and how I feel has got very little, if anything, to do with them. Hi guys, Anthony Journey here. I hope you liked that content. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and that little bell thingy to notify you when I do a new video. Do any of those things, you'll make my day. Thanks a lot.